Señoras y señores, what is going on? Happy Monday to all. Start of a new week, and of course, we are here for Phillies game recap as we're talking about the Phillies series finale against the Washington Nationals. And I know for a lot of people in Philadelphia, a lot of their ideas, their thoughts, their mind is stuck with the Birds, especially after Sunday's win against the Detroit Lions. Still people freaking out over a win. Go figure, it's Philadelphia. But let's not forget about our baseball team. You know, the Phillies obviously in a playoff race, trying to secure their wild card spot, and so obviously the Union are doing what they're doing and just dominating the MLS at the moment, and they're going for supporter shield. So there's still a lot of excitement with the other sports, despite our love for football. And the Phillies right now, it just feels more so like I just want the season to end. I just want it to be playoff time already. I just want to see what these guys will do in the playoffs, because I honestly know that this is a talented team. I just don't know how talented they are. Like, how would they stack up against the Dodgers, against the Mets, or the Braves in the playoffs? So these are all things I definitely want to see. But on Sunday afternoon, it was a weird one, right? Because number one, the Phillies had to play at the same time as the Birds. 1 o'clock for the Birds, 1:05 first pitch for the Phils. And obviously the Eagles, the good part is that the Eagles were in Detroit. They weren't in Philadelphia, so the traffic in South Philadelphia was much lighter than what we would anticipate on an Eagles and Phillies day. But there was rain on the forecast, right? And so we were wondering when that would come down, and it came down right around the second inning. And I'll give kudos to, I really do want to give kudos to all the Phillies fans who were in attendance, because look, we know that everyone was, all eyes were on the Birds, right? Everyone wanted to watch the Eagles and their season opener, and that was really what everyone's attention was. But I mean, guys, still they had 23,000 out there, almost 24,000 out, and as far as attendance goes, for the Sunday afternoon ball game during during the season opener of the Philadelphia Eagles. And you had a rain delay, a 3.5 hour rain delay, and yet these fans stood out there strong, wanting to root on their baseball team, the red pinstripes of the Phillies. So I really do want to give kudos and a lot of credit to those fans who were out there. It was an ugly one, and obviously I'm sure a lot of those fans still are Eagles fans, but wanted to show some support for the Phillies. And so we'll talk about that rain delay in just a bit. But to start this off, and obviously it's Aaron Day, and obviously it was also 9/11 Remembrance Day. It's crazy as an adult now. Like, I remember vividly 9/11. I was myself, we're talking 2001. I was 7 years old during 9/11, and I remember being in school, and I remember a kid just leaving school, and I remember all of a sudden, and it was like maybe 2-3 hours before school's over, my mom picks me up and she's telling me like there's stuff going down in New York, and I just remember like the magnitude of that day. And I look at it now, like I just feel like people have forgotten exactly what 9/11 was. And even for like this remembrance, this memorial of 9/11 yesterday, like it was minuscule to say the least, but it's just an analysis that I kind of took away. It was definitely interesting. But for the Phillies, to start off this ball game, they kind of picked off where they were last night, on Saturday night, an 8-5 victory against the Nats on Ranger Suarez Day. Bryce Harper had a big day at the plate as well, as he hit a home run. But to start off this game, we're going to pick this up in the bottom of the first inning. With 1 out, Rhys Hoskins finds a way to single to left field. And then Bryce Harper comes up to plate for his first at-bat. And in the first pitch, he takes a 89-mile-per-hour sinker to deep center field, gets past Lane Thomas, and that was able to bring in Rhys Hoskins in from first to home plate. And Bryce Harper was able to get a double on that one, and that would put the Phillies up 1-0 early in the bottom of the first inning. Now we move into the second. We move into the top of the third inning. And right around the top of the third, that's when the rain delay would begin. You saw the tarp coming on, and it was downpouring, absolutely downpouring. And then we would ensue for a 3.5 hour rain delay. It was absolutely wild, and it's crazy that in like the midst of this rain delay, like once this rain delay got called, the Eagles game was over. and it was just like the perfect timing. And then you got all like the usual, the Phillies clubhouse on NBC Sports Philadelphia. They're feeding you all this like old Phillies clips that you've probably seen in previous rain delays. And that was tough though, because 3.5 hours just to sit. Obviously, you're not bringing Aaron Nolan back out after this rain delay. And you heard what they're doing in the dugout in the clubhouse. They're watching some Eagles football, and that was really cool to hear that they were watching some Birds football. You had fans in the stands. Well, I guess in the stands and around the Citizens Bank Park, they put the Eagles game on throughout the ballpark. So that was really cool. That was a really cool moment. Obviously, you're sitting there, you're getting wet, so why not watch the Eagles if you can't watch the Phillies? So that was really cool to see. But as this game picked back up, the Nats got right to business. They would get a Lane Thomas. Brian Vargas would start off this inning with a deep ball to left field. He would get himself a double, and then Luke Voigt would hit a ball deep to right field, and that would put the Nats back into a tie ball game, 1-1 with that one, as Vargas would score off that Voigt double. And then we move forward to the top of the fourth inning, a 1-1 ball game, and the Nats started to get the ball rolling on their end. Call got walked, and then that followed by a C.J. Abrams bunt that would allow Call to get to second base. And then Cesar Hernandez, our old friend Don Hernandez, single to left center field that would bring in Call and Abrams would move to third base. And it's now a 2-1 ball game. Two batters later, we had Vargas a single to right field as Abrams would score, and that would bring in Cesar Hernandez to second base. And then two batters later, Meneses single to left field as Cesar Hernandez would score, and that would bring Vargas to second base. So the Nats got busy in that top of the fourth inning. A 1-1 ball game eventually turned into a 4-1 ball game. And yes, the Phillies now were down to the Washington Nationals, and now they got to find a way to come back. You move all the way over to the bottom of the fifth inning. A still 4-1 ball game, but the Phillies would find a way to respond back to the Washington Nationals as Kyle Schwarber Matty V started off with a double to right center field, followed by a infield single for Kyle Schwarber that would move Matty V to third base, and then Rhys Hoskins up to bat, and he would get himself a home run. This bad boy would be hit 355 feet to right field, and that brought in Vierling and Schwarber, and that, just like that, would tie up the ball game. Rhys Hoskins with some clutch hitting there with runners on, finding a way to bring them in. In the top of the sixth inning, the Nats were not going away in this one. Meneses hit a sac fly to right field that would bring in Pineda, and that was a 5-4 ball game. In the bottom of the sixth inning, you had Rhys Hoskins hit a sac fly that would bring in Brandon Marsh. Marsh with a solid game in this one. And now you got, again, a tie ball game. This was a fun one. This was back and forth, especially after going through that 3.5-hour rain delay. And it's like a 1-0 ball game. All of a sudden, there's some unanswered runs being scored here. And so the Phillies, however, would get the last laugh. In the bottom of the seventh inning, JT Realmuto would reach base on an infield single, and that would then bring up Alec Boehm to bat. And Alec Boehm would hit himself a 362 feet home run to right field that would bring in JT Realmuto and obviously bringing himself in a 2-run home run shot, make it a 7-5 ball game. You had actually, Sir Anthony Dominguez would come into this game. He pitched in the 8th inning, got the job done. 1, 2, 3. He got a strikeout in the first one. Great to see, obviously. Also, you had David Robertson come in the 9th to close it out. And David Robertson, 1, 2, 3. He struck out the damn side. And that was clutch because obviously, we've been seeing David Robertson kind of implode in those situations, and he found himself a way to get the job done, and the Phillies would walk away with the 7-5 game. Look, I give him credit here because you consider the fact that, there wasn't a lot of tension on these guys, right? Because of everyone having their eyes on the birds and everyone's just waiting for Eagles football or just watching Eagles football. Then you got the rain delay, right? 3.5 hours. It's tough to stay loose. It's tough to stay, amped up. And, luckily they had a moment in the clubhouse that kind of brought the guys together. But for them to come back out and then to score six runs, that was really big, and to stay in this. And obviously the Nationals, despite what we see on that team, obviously they are rebuilding, and obviously it's not a strong team. And, this is now, the third sweep that we've had against the Nationals. They don't want to keep getting swept. They don't want to keep getting beat up by the Phillies. And, yes, the social media team kind of did put a target on their back. But at the end of the day, they showed out. They made it a fight here today. They got big contributions from Vargas, C.J. Abrams as well. I'm sure his girlfriend was vlogging in Philadelphia. I stumbled upon C.J. Abrams' girlfriend's TikTok, and I think we talked about this before, but what drew me was MLB girlfriend's day in the life, and I'm like, what? Wait, what? You're just literally just vlogging yourself, following your boyfriend around and plays Major League. Hey, listen, do what you want, I guess. But big day by C.J. Abrams. Of course, Luke Voit stepped up big there. And again, still free Luke Voit and Lane Thomas and Meneses. They got some run. They got some hits. 11 hits, only 5 runs to show for it. They struggled to bring in runs. They also definitely stretched out Bryson Stott. Bryson Stott, I still see in my head like him trying to stretch for a ground ball that's just going right by him. He struggled doing that a couple times throughout this game, but you definitely want to give credit to the Nationals. They gave it a fighting effort, but the Phillies were just too much, and they're at the point now in the season where it's obviously you got to get every single win that you possibly can, and we got about a little less than a month left before the season's over. I think we have like 2 more home series left. We got the Braves and we got the Blue Jays, and then it's kind of it for regular season games at Citizens Bank Park. And so it's important for the Phillies to get as many wins as possible. We all talked about Bryce Harper sitting out on Friday to just get some rest and kind of reset. He hits a home run on Saturday. He gets a big double to kind of get the game started in the first inning. And this is what he needs to slowly get these type of performances, get those runs. He's been getting RBIs these last 2 games, and that's definitely big. It's all about getting yourself right. The top part of the lineup needs to get right. They finally put Bryce Harper back in the 3-hole, which, he obviously feels very comfortable there, and so put him back there. But Schwarber, Hoskins, and Harper really need to provide a lot of pop for you, because that's your power backs, and that's obviously the top of the order. So it's very important for those guys to continue on the track that they are. JT Realmuto, again, continuing to impress. And then, of course, you had Alec Boehm getting the home run. Sir Alec Boehm coming up big in this one. Hasn't really been clutch in his career here with the Phillies, but he definitely found a way to be clutch in this game, and it was very, very much needed here. I want to see some more from Alec Boehm. Alec's proven as well that he can bat anywhere in the lineup, and he's not going to complain, and he's just going to show out and do his job, and that's been a really big bright spot here for the Phillies. Brandon Marsh obviously got a hit too. He's been struggling as of late, and you hope to see him continue back on the right streak. And then Matt V with the 2-for-4 performance. That was definitely big to seeing Matty V contributing. Obviously, Aaron Noel, just 2 hits he did allow, 2 Ks. It was just a weird one. Definitely felt like a weird start from the jump. But obviously it sucks when you can't really use him for more. He kind of just wasted a start of Aaron Noel's. He threw 44 pitches in this one in 2 innings. I definitely want to see less than that. You never want to see Aaron Nola pitching more than 20 in an inning. So not the best, but obviously it's an unfinished start as well. Christopher Sanchez, dude, this is now a run of bad outings, especially starts for Christopher Sanchez, and doesn't throw too much heat, and that's been the problem with him. And he obviously allowed 4 earned runs, and that cannot happen. It just straight up cannot happen. You had Nick Nelson, Jose Alvarado, Seranthony Dominguez, and David Robertson coming out. Obviously, we just mentioned David Robertson, big way to close this game out. And it's good. It's really cool to see Seranthony Dominguez come back out there. Definitely refreshing. But Jose Alvarado was awarded the win in this game, so great to see a great contribution here. So for the Phillies, you got everyone should be happy. They got the sweep. That's what everyone wanted, right? You don't want to, you always want to sweep these bad teams. From my understanding, everyone's still freaking out about that Marlins loss last Wednesday, but. Like I said, you're just stacking up these wins. You still have one more important series against the Braves. It's a true test. Obviously, the Braves are red hot. It's September. It's Brave season, right? So that's going to be a really good test. And I want the team to handle that series like the playoffs, right? Because that's a good team. You struggled against those guys in September. So it's all the preparation. The Phillies are off today. They will gear up to go down. They're heading to Miami, or they should probably in Miami right now. They got one more series against the Marlins, and so this one's going to be big too. Now, again, Phillies Nation, don't expect a series sweep, but of course you want the series win, and you want to see some good performances here. So we'll see what happens there. But it's the game one will be tomorrow for the Philadelphia Phillies. It'll be a 6:40 first pitch here. We'll see how the Phillies are able to handle that. But that's it that's going to do it, guys, for today's Phillies game recap. But just a quick one, just kind of I wanted to touch upon. I want to touch upon it. I want to show some love to the Phillies because by all means, it's still Phillies season. It's still Union season. We're all obviously engulfed in this Eagles talk, and that's great and all, but this is Philadelphia. We are a sports town. We are a 5 for 5 sports town. So thank you so much, guys, for checking it out. We'll be back again later tomorrow, guys. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe for more, and as always, ladies and gentlemen, I go by the name El Parcero Philly, and I'm telling you guys, let's go Phils, let's go Philly sports.